Okay, I'm in the back streets of Georgia. If you don't know this country, it's such a vibe here. I've just dropped day 2, and this is all about one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make as a video creator, as a creative, is niching down, is getting that to the point where you can become a specialist. Now, talk about the 3S model being Pacific person, Pacific problem, Pacific solution. And in this video, you're going to see me actually do my own niching exercises, taking and getting myself all sorted out. So let's head over to the computer. This is going to allow you to be more specialized, charge more premium, and ultimately have way more focus on who you're going to be working with and who you're going to serve. So let's head over to the computer and see you over there. Okay, so this is day 2, and this is probably one of the biggest, most important videos. This is day 2 of the 30-day filmmaking challenge. This is how I finally picked my niche. Niching is arguably one of the biggest decisions as a filmmaker you will ever make. I'm going to explain to you why, what the problem is, and everything else in between of why I came to my decision and how I got there in the process. I'm actually going to document some of the stuff that I'm doing. I've already kind of done some market research, but I'm going to try and go through the process again. Hopefully it doesn't flop on my ass, and we just documenting this shit. So like, this is how I did it. But before I get to that, I want to talk about this. Most filmmakers never scale because they never niche down. Today, I'm fixing that, right? So for those of you that are just joining the channel, I am starting and building an agency from scratch. I'm building an AI-driven visual storytelling agency completely from scratch and documenting it daily. I'm hopefully going to do it over 30 days. It may take me a couple of weeks longer. I don't know, but 30 days is the goal. Now, the problem with niching, and that most people, before I get to these 3 main problems, there's one other problem that I want to talk about, and that is the identity crisis. The fact that an identity crisis is that you got into this game because you wanted to be into movies, sexy, hot topics, moving fast cars, adventure. You wanted to be seen as the goat in your, filmmaking have this ideology of like high status, high demand, one Vimeo pick. I spoke to someone yesterday that basically said, just waiting for that one person to discover me. I'm just not being discovered. And I used to even fall into this trap as well when I used to say to myself, they will find me soon. Like, it's all bullshit, right? The thing is that the real money gets made in the boring niches. That's not what you want to hear, but that's where it really is. Now, there is some arguably sexy ones like lifestyle and adventure, and you can go into them, but you got to imagine everybody wants to get into them type of thing. So niching is look, if they can make an all-time blockbuster on Netflix, like a really successful show like Suits, where they take a boring subject like that and then it's about going into the human side of it. So it doesn't matter what niche you go into, just humanize, bring the human element to the brand, and you'll still get fulfillment. You'll still get your creative fulfillment. And it's about creating good shit and just really powerful storytelling, right? At the end of the day, that's what it is. The creativity is what is the variable for everything working for the client, but also to give you your fulfillment. That's it, right? But there's a couple of other big things as well, other than your identity crisis. And that is, we're afraid of being boxed in. So we think, niched in, boxed in. This, I'll get to this in a second. They worry about it means losing creative freedom. I'll get to that in a second. They think narrowing down focus means fewer clients. Now, in the beginning stages, what's going to happen is you are going to freak out and think, I've got to push people away. I'm not going to be able to work. People that are going to see I'm working with this particular type of industry, and they're going to be deterred. That is not the case. In the early stages, you will probably want to say yes to anyone and everyone, as you've been doing. But once you niche down and you're truly niche with a system and everything that I'm about to show you in this series, you'll be that inundated with work that you will actually say no. You won't want to work them. Why? Because you're going to become a true specialist. Now, the 3S model is basically how I niche down, which is Pacific person, Pacific problem, Pacific creative solution, right? So it won't box you in. In fact, you'll find it's very enjoyable, and you won't want to work with anyone once you get really into it and you start having your lead gen deployed and your sales processes. It's just in the early stages where you'll feel that boxy feeling, and you'll feel like you're losing that creative freedom because you'll feel like you're limited and everything else in between. You will find that there is a whole another world when you get into your niche. That I can assure you. It is vertical, it is wide, it is massive, it is international. You'll typically attract international clients once you have gone specialized. You can demand a premium because you are now considered a specialist. Again, I've said this so many times on my channel and other content. If you had a heart problem, would you see a general doctor or a heart specialist? Now in America, you'd pay a fortune to see a heart specialist. So it's about being a specialist, right? The result, no clarity, no premium offers, and no scale. That's why most stay stuck at between the 5 and 15K months. So why does this matter? Without a niche, everything collapses. You can't build a 20 to 50K offer if you don't know who it's for. You can't do that. You can't create a marketing strategy if your audience is anyone with budget, anyone that's got cash or tech. You just become a jack of all trades. You can't be the authority if you're just another generalist with a camera, and you will find it difficult to talk about stuff online, like having a podcast show or having a content. This whole 3S model that I'm talking about, specific person, specific problem, specific solution, gives you the gateway to start talking about something. And we're going to get to like how I did it and my approach in just a second. But ultimately, this is not only going to help you scale with your ads. It's not only going to help me. Like if we're documenting, like let's just talk about me. Like the way I'm thinking about is I need to be able to scale with my ads, so I hit the message really, really tight, laser tight. Number 2, I need to be able to create a repeatable offer because I want to productize eventually, because I want to scale. I don't want to scale the creativity side of stuff. The creativity itself will be different, but the product will be the same. Okay, and a lot of you may not be able to get your head wrapped around that, but I will show you how in upcoming episodes. The other thing as well is again the knowledge and the rich information that you have when you're talking to people. You'll be coming at them like a professor. It's a much easier way to sell yourself and to gain attention. It's so much harder to be a generalist, to try and gain the attention of clients and brands by just saying you're everybody, you're an everybody. Like if they had to spend 50K with you, being an everybody person, or a high-end agency that they're going to have the whole team and everything else, who do you think they would pick? But if you come along and say, hold on a minute, I'm a specialist at just this specific person with this specific problem, with this specific solution, that when I work with you, you're getting that expertise. You're getting that authority, right? You're coming from a place of authority and credibility. So that's the main thing. Now, my approach for picking my niche, going back to me, documenting me in this 30-day filmmaker challenge, today it isn't just about picking a niche. I actually went through a full niching exercise, market research, to make this decision. Now, I use the Ikigai methodology. I don't know if you've seen the documentary, the Japanese. They talk about, it's a Japanese Netflix documentary, which is, I think it's How to Live to 100, and it talks about these blue zones, and all these people around the world, like these places around the world, there's about 5 of them, blue zones, they all live naturally to 100, right? And one of the places was Japan, and they talked about the Ikigai method, about how to be in purpose, how to find your purpose, how to take your gift and give it to the world. Well, this has been my approach for some time, right? It's like, well, what do I love to do? What does the world need? What would the world be willing to pay for? And what am I actually good at? What is my gift? Now, a lot of you might not be able to get too romantic about this, but if you are a person that is stuck around 5 to 15K a month, you've already got a body of work. So you would already know somewhat projects you like doing, what you don't like doing. And if you don't know what you love doing, just ask yourself, what do you not like to do? Because that will get you closer to what you want to do. So it's like, what do you love? So for me, documenting my process, I love humanizing people. I know the world needs this particular person I'm about to tell you. I know they're willing to pay for it, and I know I'm good at it. Now, where I've landed is coaches. Now, the reason for being is because I've instantly gone to the thing that I know. I am a coach, right? I have coached, and I understand the industry, and I have done... Arguably, I've worked with some of the biggest coaches in the world. Like, I've spent time with people like Taki Moore and, like Stephanie Mason that is revolutionized the hair industry through a company called Show Pony. She educated so many people, some of the top hairdressers around the world. She was educating them. I've worked with property tycoons and people that have done and that have education programs and consulting programs. So I've already got experience and a body of work with some of these people. So it's going to be like, I like doing that work. I'm good at that work because I prefer the humanizing style and genre. And that's another place you can try to find your specific person, is in the type of genre of work that you work. Like, I worked with AMG, Fortune 500 companies, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as, I say, I worked with sort of impact coaches that are really sort of like, that need personalizing, and they need differentiation, and they need to humanize themselves and tell a backstory, and then to open up that personal story. I really love making that stuff. And so I know that the world needs it. I know they're willing to pay for it. I know I'm good at it, and I know I love it, right? So coaching is what I've come to. Now, from the research prompt, I've got a research prompt here, but instead of me giving you this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. Just give me a second. And I'm going to create a new one, because I've created a checklist. Now, the checklist that I've got here is a checklist that I think I need to do to build this production company, right? To get it to 100K per month. Like, that's my goal. So these are the things that I need to understand. So define your perfect client. I need to define it. Is their business expanding and hungry for visibility? So our coaches, do they want to expand? Do they want to get bigger? Do they feel the pain of weak messaging and poor storytelling? I would say yes. Can they pay for premium rates for cinematic work? Yes, they can. Are they easy to identify and reach? Yes, they're very easy. You can get to them on LinkedIn. You can get them to IG. You can get them definitely at networking events. Like, you just look at Alex Hormozi. That's one place that they could go for. There's other people, other major coaches they probably follow, and they get to like mapping out their sort of what they like. What content do they watch? Again, other coaches probably, other books, other inspiration. They probably follow things. Who influences them is a really important thing. That is one of the keys of really trying to find access to people. It's a really powerful thing. What kind of stories emotionally move them? It's powerful. Like, I know humanizing them and differentiating them is a powerful thing. That's based on experience. But, you know, I think most brands would like that. But particularly with these, they want to humanize themselves. Map out their world. What content do they watch, read, or follow? Who influences them? What kind of stories emotionally move them? And this is all stuff that I need to answer to these questions. I can't just generically think of. So what I'm going to do is, after I read this out to you, I'm going to develop a prompt. So align your brand with their world, create stories that reflect their values and visions, build offers that solve their creative commercial pain points, place your work alongside brands, people, and content they admire. Very powerful brand association. Decide how you scale your influence. Choose where to expand once you dominate your first niche. Okay, higher budget. And again, this is higher. Look at what I said here. First niche. You can always go to the next niche. So it could go from consultants, education, and sort of consultants, and then it could move over to speakers, or it could move over to, say, agencies. You could conquer one niche, do it really well, go deep on the vertical, and then you can expand into the cousin of the niche, right? So higher budget clients, luxury enterprises, lower budgets but volume clients, wider industries, deeper focus. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, you are a world-class, spelling, terrible spell, I told you, in this show it's going to be bad spelling. You are a world-class prompt engineer that will take the following and make it into a prompt that delivers the outcome of research so I can build my production company specializing in coaches. And I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to say online coaches consultants and educators, something like that, okay? And I'm going to copy that in, and I'm going to ask it to create a prompt. I just want a prompt. Like, I always get it to tell me the prompt, right? So instead of just giving you a prompt, making out like I cooked it, I'm going to show you the back end on how I do things, because I just think this thing knows how to do things. And so then I'm going to basically say, I want you to act like a world-class market researcher specializing in online coaching, consulting, and educating industry. Your task is to deliver deep, structured insights that will help me build and position a cinematic production storytelling company for this niche. Organize your research into clear sections with bullet points and actionable takeaways covering the following areas in detail, right? I mean, I would even take this prompt, just screenshot it, like, because it never does it perfect like this, always on the fence. I've got the gods watching me. All right, number 1, define the perfect client. Someone's looking after me. Define the perfect client. What are the characteristics of my ideal client in this space? Are they expanding, actively seeking visibility? Do they feel the pain of weak messaging and poor storytelling? Can they pay premium rates for cinematic production work? How do they identify and research? Okay. And then it's going to map it out. So basically what it's going to do is going to take all that checklist, and now it's going to perform that thing. Now, typically, I would do this on Perplexity, right? I would normally do this on Perplexity. So I would take this and I would say world-class online coaching, consultants and educators. Okay, and then what I would do is I would do Perplexity. So just dump it in, because I like Perplexity because it's changed. I haven't, but the truth is I haven't actually been using it as much. Why? Because they introduced ChatGPT 5 with the agents, right? And the agents feel very, very, very powerful. Web, academic, social, social, search, academic, papers if it has to. Yeah, we want, okay. So I'm just going to fire that thing off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same thing and I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to create a new one, and then I'm going to put it onto agent mode, and then I'm going to run it as an agent, because the agent does fairly heavy, deep research. And agent and Bush. Voila. And it's going to be setting up the desktop, and it's going to basically run through. So I'll pause this until it gets to the end. But as you can see, now it's doing that. It's doing that deep research. Now, before, like a year and a half ago, we didn't have this. This is what I mean about like speeding up your workflow. Like, I do think there's some merit in speaking to people. I do think there's a lot of merit in picking up the phones. I still, to this day, will do that through this. I will speak to people. I will ask them questions. Just probably not here, because some of the people I'm going to ring won't want to be on camera. But ultimately, this is going to give you some fairly good information. This is going to start setting you up from a specialist, at least for the positioning stuff that we're going to be doing over the next several days, at least from the offer perspective that we're going to be doing over the next couple of days. And this is where it's going to give me the intel. Now, the intel, where do I put it? I would just basically create a document. I would create a new document, and I would put it into here, and I would just call it market research for coaches. And I'm just basically going to drop it here. Now, this then, once I compile this information, right, this becomes a central pillar for me to be able to start developing things like web copy, my offer creation. I'm going to be running it through and taking this information and running it through certain different AI applications like Perplexity, like, mid-journey, if I need to create some kind of imagery or some kind of thing that I need to create, like I'm going to be using this as deep research that I've collected, and I'm going to honor this. Like, and this is the thing, you've got to honor this. Don't keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Just take what it's given to you, put it into a central place, and then we can use this when we're building out the offer, when we're building out the pain points, when we're building out the web copy, when we're building out our social omnipresence, and when we're building out our scripts, when we're building out our sales scripts. This will become a central piece of information. But it's also confirming to me, like the thing that I'm looking for confirmation here is that the big thing that I'm looking for is characteristic of ideals, your perfect client in online coaching, consulting, education. This is kind of what I'm looking for. I want to know there's money there. I want to know I can build a business talking to these people, right? So the range is 100K to 1 million annual revenue, coaches and consulting. A business stage is established practitioners seeking scale beyond one-to-one services, client-based services or corporate clients willing to pay premium rates, location primarily North America, English-speaking markets, characteristics growth, actively seeking their market presence to scale their business, quality-focused understanding, expanding and visibility, seeking behavior. Scaling strategy. 60% of successful coaches are implementing group programs and digital products to scale beyond one-to-one services, corporate partnerships, platform visibility, investment patterns, content marketing. 70% of successful coaches invest heavily in video content for authority building. Okay, so there you go. Right, social media presence, active on LinkedIn, primary business, YouTube for long form. Exactly, like building out them in a YouTube infrastructure with a trailer. Like I'm already seeing it, like with a trailer, you know, helping them with the planning of it, the emotional connection side, the story architect of their YouTube channel. So it's going to lift their perceived value, speed up their sales process, create higher status. This is all going to be very valuable for them. So I'm looking to make sure that this market is one, it's growing. I understand what they're like. I understand that I know I can serve these people because I am a coach, and I know that this is very valuable for them. It's positioning, right? And positioning is, I know one story that I can share with you on this particular, through my own market research. There was a guy that was doing around 100 grand a month. He went to go see a very high-level storyteller. This guy's super picky, picky, and doesn't take anybody on. He takes a 25% cut of what he does. So he took them on 100 grand. They were doing 100 by themselves. Went to this particular person, I won't say who it is, and within 30 days, he got them to $1 million a month in sales, right? And he took 25%, and he's continued on working with them, right? That's the power of a visual growth strategy that you can give to any brand or anything if you can do it right now. And that's the question you're going to say to yourself. Well, I don't know how to do that. Like, I know you don't know how to do that, and neither do I. You know, something that goes up that quick can crash down that quick. But again, a lot of it is, and you would know this, and I know because I know this, like, we're not an industry that's lazy with research. Like, our research was a lot of manual, walking out, location scouts, character development. Like, if you're doing between 5 and 15, you already understand the power of getting prepared. This is you preparing to go into something, but understanding what do they need, how can we create an offer that is so compelling that will push, that will take them from point A to point B, so that we're not hiding behind our red. Like, you don't need to be hiding around the fancy gear. The fancy gear is in my opinion, this is a human like, this is creative technician. I have a Leica, so I'm taking photos with you, so you should pay me a premium. Like, nobody fucking cares. What they care about is the result. Did it boost my status? Did it make me more money? Did it speed up my sales process? Did it save me time? Did it reduce my risk of the up and down revenue roller coaster? That's the thing that you want to be selling, the outcome, not the day rate with the fancy camera. This is not it. This is not the answer. I'm telling you, this is not the answer, because you'll be forever capped at your day and your hourly rate. There's only 24 hours in a day. But if you sell from impact by not understanding your deep research and by going through this process, and this is fantastic. Like this, and this is why I've moved over to the agent, because I mean, look at this. Look at what it's doing. 24 best life coaches in the world. 200 for a niching website plus guide. Like, it's going and it's doing it. It's going to take about 20 minutes to do. So I might just pause this video and come back. Okay, so GBT's ready. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. What has ChatGPT given us? Okay, so understanding comprehensive market research, online coaching, consulting, education, industry, cinematic production. I'll cover the characteristics of ideal client, key influences, content and consuming habits, brand alignments, etc., etc. Right, here we go. This is the information. Right now, I'm taking it because I trust it enough to be able to go, okay, I've got this, and I'm going to put this into this blank document. No. This blank document here. All right, and we're just going to, we've got this now as a baseline to work with. Now, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but I am going to scan through it. When I get off this, I'm going to read every single word because I want to understand. And this is another thing, right? ChatGPT, in a lot of cases, in a lot of people, and then you tell me, if you comment down below, if you like ChatGPT, to me, I see it as kind of like, it's almost like a little bit like my bitch, right? It's I don't know why I don't respect it, because it just pumps it out so fast. I don't know why I do it. Like, if some human actually did all this market research, I think I'd value it and said, it's going to cost you $5,000 to get this insights, I'd be really interested in paying for it, right? But because it just does it so quickly, I just see it as my bitch, right? And this is a mistake. You cannot just disregard the fact that we've put a pretty good prompt together. It's done all this research, including Perplexity. You want to compile this into a document, and you want to read it. And it's gonna. This is the thing. Like, this is about you transit. And this is when you start to realize, shit. Now you're really starting to look at niching. You're not niching if you don't put your soul into the actual niche and actually spend the time. I don't want to read this shit. I don't want to sit here and read, but I will. I have to. I have to understand my market. I have to understand what's going on in my market, right? So I'll glaze over it with you on this video, but as soon as I finish this, I will be reading it, over a coffee, and I'll sit and I'll read it. I'll read it on my phone. I'll read it on my iPad. But high-value coaches and consulting the online coaching industry growing rapidly, which is what we want to understand. Studies estimate that the global. Just give me 1 second. We just want to make sure that we've got these answers to these checklists, right? So, is the business expanding? That's the ultimate key here. We want to understand, is it expanding? It is expanding, right? The next question would be, and what I would do is almost like start to fill this in some respect, because I would just reformat this, and I would bold it, and then underneath I would grab this research, and then I would grab this, and I would start to fill this in a sort of, in a kind of cool way. And I would start to go through each and every one of them. It's like, does the pain of weak messaging, poor storytelling, and pain of weak messaging, coaches struggle to communicate the abstract services in marketing. Expect not the coaching is different because the coach is the product, and potential clients require multiple touch points, typically 6 to 12 before they buy. Interesting. Them touch points. See how that now becomes part of like my sales presentation, and just the offer itself. Like, that we need to create 6 touch points, and then touch points can be all saving you time by creating high-level videos that go through an email nurturing system that actually, speeds up the sales cycle, but it's on a nurturing campaign that's automated. And that could be something that I could offer these coaches, like a nurturing system that's video-based, that's cinematic, that gives them an experience before they even come into the program, because we need that, because they need the trust in order to transfer and to do the deal and to actually come into you. So this is the level of insights that I need to know about my niche. Now, once I go through this one time, this doesn't stop. I become a university student of this. I become a university of coaching. This becomes my passion. Now I'm setting up Feedly's. If you don't know what Feedly is, look into it. It's an app that feeds you information. I'd be setting up agents, because now you can do it through ChatGPT, where it give you the top news, or I'd create an N88, which will be feeding me all the newsworthy stuff around the coaching space, like what's going on, what's the trends, what's any big news that I can talk about. You know, when we get to the section here about map out their world, what do they watch, who do they follow, who influences them thing, align your brand with their world, create stories that reflect their value and vision, builds, offers, solves their creative commercial pain points, place your work alongside a brand's people and thing. Like, one of the things that it said, I'm sure, let's have a look. Let's just have a look. Business, ask people, pain points, understand, ensure, market research, map their world. Here we go. So this part of the map in the world, they're kind of into people like Tony, they're into like Jay, they're into Brendan Brown. So what am I going to do? Like, I'll take Brendan Brown, and if I'm creating a piece of content, I talk about Brendan Brown and associate my face with Brendan Brown. Maybe Brendan, I don't know who I would, but then start to talk about, you know, her as a case study of like how she's blowing up, because she's telling higher power level kind of storytelling. She's thinking about, she's emotionally driving her outcomes and built a X $1 million, $1 trillion business because she did this. And now what I'm doing, now I have content to talk about, because now I know what they're interested in. Do you understand? Like, how powerful this can actually be, and you're associating your brand now with that. So the Michael Hansen brand would probably need to be like associated with some of these people. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but like, you know, because I did his stuff and it just never stuck with me very early on in my life. But I would probably go deeper into this. So like, I would be thinking about what kind of stuff do they read, what kind of things do they do on the weekend. And what I'm going to be doing is building a brand that is going to attract them to me. Okay, it's powerful, 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 powerful exercise. So going back to the checkpoint, let me just get this one-page positioning. So I'm basically going to go through and fill this in, and I've got my master document here, but this would be obviously the answers to everything. I would structure this page different. For those of you that actually want this, comment on the YouTube channel and I'll send it to you. Or go over to Instagram and DM me at IamMichaelHansen.tv. For those of you that need to spell that, it's I am Michael Hansen. That's it. That you just put that username in and you'll find me. Just DM me. Say you came from YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, so once we've got the markets, just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so now once we've got that research done, obviously we've just picked coaching and we've done some surface layer research. We've got it compiled into a document. We've got it all laid it out. We've formatted it properly. Now what I want to kind of talk about, and this is kind of important, is the next phase. Okay, first I just want to share with you like just an example here that I just pulled together, like just to help you. Like, video production company, look how many people come up in terms of the results. Video production for e-commerce, look how many people come up. Video production for e-commerce jewelry, look how many people come out. So you're going to have more chance of getting them people that are looking, and typically affluent clients are looking for specialists, right? And for those of you, it's just a quick, like, if you are thinking about the type of niches that you could go for, I just thought I'd throw this in here to try and give you a little bit of inspiration. So luxury car deals, gyms, expert information, online training, testimonials is a very powerful. That's kind of more like a product thing, but it's still powerful. Dentistry, builders, love builders. Builders are really good. Property developers are cashed through the wazoo, especially if you get into the international ones. Architect, very cinematic, beautiful thing. Lawyers do really well in the US. Not so much in England or the UK or Europe, because they're a bit more conservative, bit more like the lawyers are a bit crazy over in the US. I found they're a bit fucking crazy. They're fun. They're crazy. They're into winning cases, suing things. It's just like, this is different to the England. Tattoo removalists, business exit coaches, which is the one we did. Churches, local. These are all really, really good. Wealth advisors are pretty good. They need their personal brand. Pool guys, boring good, very profitable. E-commerce, financial services, food, dating, matchmaking. That's a very fun niche to go into. Extremely fun. Unboxing, there's funeral services, fun plans, and pet brands. So boring, profitable, your job to make it super cool. Now, this is what I want to talk about. This here is going to be what we call your clout impact statement, or my clout impact statement. Now, this is the one I've come up with so far. I help high impact coaches escape the commodity trap and scale their influence. Now, it still needs a bit of work, okay? Because we've got we help niche, or I help niche, because I'm doing it under my personal brand. So I help high impact coaches, giving them a little bit of a compliment, get dream outcome, right? So is more authority, more credibility, more influence and persuasion, and then without pain problems. So without putting in time and energy and effort, could potentially be that. Now, this particular formula, like, I'm happy with what I've got here so far, but I definitely want to dial this in. Now, what are you going to use this for? How is this going to be used? This is going to be used in all your social omnipresence. This is going to be used in your IG, LinkedIn, your website. It's literally going to be like your one-liner statement. It's going to go on your branding, your everything. It's literally the thing that's going to tell people you speak to your perfect avatar, and that is pretty much it, right? So one of the things that I would suggest you do is to take this formula, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this formula and I'm going to go back to my market research, and I'm just going to give it a whirl. I'm going to say, like, now become a world-class copywriter of 40 years and take this framework and your research and build me a clout impact. No, it doesn't know clout. Just call it a bio statement, so it really hits hard. Okay, and then I'm just gonna paste in this, and I'm gonna put that I help. I'll just help it a little bit. Just coaches get dream outcome without pain point by influence, right? And I'm just going to give it a roll. Now, I don't suggest you using AI for absolutely everything. I think there needs to be like a part of you that gets some inspiration and then comes to your decision. Like this one is the one that I feel is going to work really well, because I help high impact coaches escape the commodity trap. I know this will hit hard with them. They get the idea. They know what they're doing. But you can see some of the other people that have done it. Like you can see with me with filmmaking, I help video agencies book 30K brand stories consistent without taking on projects you hate. So it's the without. It's very, very powerful, the without. This is another guy. I help attorneys attract premium clients through memorable songs and engaging visuals. Again, he's missing the without. But still very good. This guy's if you haven't checked his work out, he's a great guy. He's great. So is this guy. They're all fantastic people. Creative production, specializing in the healthcare sector. Again, I tell impact stories in the mental health space that bolster brand connection and drive the revenue growth. So a couple of these are really missing the without stuff. I think the without is quite important, and I help speakers and experts transform their industries using story to educate and build communities. I still am, and this is a very authoritative, this is a very, very authoritative banner. I love this, right? And again, wherever you can build your authority, and bring that sort of cinematic feeling, do it, because it's powerful. Here we go. We help the health products and services build trust and awareness through the psychology of storytelling, driving strategic results. Okay, I think I'm the only one doing with the without. But on this particular one, I haven't done it, but I'm going to refine it over the 30 days. Okay, so I might change this. Don't hold me to it, but this is what I've come up with so far. But for you, if you're watching this and you're asking me what I would do, definitely put it in. Try to put it in because it will have more impact. Okay, so let's see what this GBT bitch has done. I help growth-focused coaches attract premium long-term clients without the frustration of generic marketing that dilutes their value by turning their mission into cinematic narratives that builds trust, inspires action, and converts at a high level. I like it. It's a bit of a tongue twister. It needs to be shorter. So I would say something like, make this shorter so it can fit into a IG page, right? So you would do that. And then that's what I would do. Okay? And at the end of the day, like, guys, this is what I'm trying to work with this thing just to see how good we can get it. I help coaches attract premium clients without bland marketing by crafting cinematic stories that convert. It's okay. But again, you can't rely on AI. This is where your human touch has got to come in. This has got to come from you. And this is about white space, guys. Fucking hell. Like, this is about going for a walk. This is about thinking about what is the thing that they're without. Like, and this, if you're doing between 10 and 15, you would have already had a body of work. You would have seen the things that really pissed them off. You've got to really get, at the end of the day, AI is not human. I don't care what it's going to do in the future and this prediction that the people are going to marry it and all that shit. Like, I'm just not buying it. Like, I think the one thing that we have is human connection and connection to the universe and truly energy. It's the one thing I'll never have is energy. Just want to have energy. I have the consciousness and everything, and it's all been programmed and can think for itself and everything, but it won't have energy. All right, so that's my take on that. Let's go back to the document. We've done that. Okay, through that process, and look, again, like, I'm documenting this to try and help support you guys that are watching and following along. Okay? Again, if you've got questions, down below, please, on the comment section. Through the process, I've realized I've best positioned to serve high-impact consulting and coaches, so that's what we've come. These are people with real experiences stuck at like just another coach. So they really are stuck in that commodity trap and it's flooded, massively flooded. And I now needed to find their deepest pains, desires, and bottlenecks in their business. And we're going to do that through the pre-mortem exercise and the offer creation that we'll do tomorrow. The reason shown in the biggest problem isn't getting a video made. It's building trust and authority fast so that they can win premium clients, so they can convert, can they make more money, more time, more energy, more effort. And we're going to talk about like status building because we do that better than anyone else. I'll talk about that tomorrow. That's where I come in. My focus is helping them escape the commodity trap by creating cinematic brand stories that humanize the brand, differentiate them from low trust to competition. Also speeds up the sales cycle that turns expertise into authority that commands 30 to 100K deals for them. This is how I position myself as a strategic and creative growth partner, not just a commoditized videographer. And that's what I want to inspire one family or one filmmaker to get out of. It's the whole reason I'm doing this thing. I really do. I really, really want to help one person just get out of this and just become a specialist, because you will make a lot of money if you do that. Because I'm solving a high-value positioning problem, not just delivering content. I'm selling impact. I'm selling outcome. I'm not selling a day rate or time. Now, what's next? Tomorrow, day 3, is about the offer creation. Now, we're going to do an omnipresence as well, but we need to do offer before we do the omnipresence, because we might pick up some more stuff that before we start putting stuff out. We want to make sure that that's all embedded into things like the website and into the offer positioning, etc. So tomorrow's day 3 is about offer creation. Once you know your niche, the next step is packaging it into something irresistible, not 2K bricks, but 20 to 50K bridges, meaning what do I mean by that? Like, don't sell them a brick. Okay, like it's like selling one video and then there's nothing else that comes with it. It's just a video. That's going to leave them not very happy. I mean, if they've got people around them, then maybe it will. But like, you want to go in there and offer a bridge from point A to point B. This is where you're at, and this is where I'm going to get you. And if you do that successfully, you will be printing money for the rest of your life. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about that. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Get closer to me, right? Comment down below. You inspire the team when you do that. Make sure you put the bell and whatever else. But tomorrow's about offer creation. Again, subscribe, follow along. This is where we turn the niching into the money. And look, guys, like for some of you, like all of you actually, most of you, again, I think I've said this before, not a lot of you are driven by the money. A lot of you are going to be driven by the freedom and about having better clients, more creative freedom. So you can build what you want to build. So you got into this to make stuff, right? But you have to make money if you've got a family. You have to make money if you want to take care of things in this world, right? And so the creative problem is always going to be, it's always the same thing. It's like they're really good and intelligent and have the intuition of a genius when it comes to creating stuff. But the logical side and the business side, just that part of the brain just doesn't get exercised as much as it should. And so this is what this is about. It's about trying to inspire you enough to go, like, we need a business that is predictable. We need to be able to go after clients with money that can afford the investment. And it's about creating a business that is so valuable and so good that people are willing to pay you 30 to 50,000 because the results that they're going to get is 10x what they've given you. And that's how you create demand around yourself. So I'll leave you with that. I'm really excited about tomorrow, and I will talk to you soon.